Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel and welcome to another Mix It Up Monday. And this video I'm going to be making a basic white sauce. Now this is the best because you can use this for so many things, and I'm going to show you. They're very similar, all of these white sauce mixes recipes. This Make a Mix cookery book has a white sauce mix, and I will put the link to this like I have from the other videos because it also has a white sauce mix, and the only difference is this one has 1/8 of a teaspoon of white pepper. I'm going to use that because I do like to have the white pepper in there. And basically it's super simple. Once you have this white sauce mixed, it'll make about a quart of it, and you're just going to use about 1/2 cup of the white sauce mix with a cup of cool water in a saucepan, and you're going to heat it up, and it's going to make a really good sauce. What I like to use it for is for things like macaroni and cheese. So basically what I have here is I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour. So I've got that. And then it's 2 cups of the non-fat dry milk powder. So I'm going to add that in. And then the recipe that I'm going to have the link for also has the 1/8 of a teaspoon of white pepper, which I like. And then the other thing, oh, and 2 teaspoons of sea salt. Let me get my salt. It's over here. I forgot the salt. But I'm only going to put 1 teaspoon in because I don't like a lot of salt. So put that in there. And then, there's the lid. I thought I lost the lid to my salt. There we go. Now, the other thing we're going to do is I'm going to mix this powder up, and then it expects you, or the instructions tell you, to have 1 cup of butter or margarine. But I want mine to be shelf stable without having to be refrigerated. So I am going to be using the butter flavored Crisco because that helps, and that's just fine. And I'm going to mix this up really well with my cool mix whisk. This is the one I like to use because it really gets in the middle of everything and puts that on there, and it really works everything through. Sifting, if you don't have something like this, you could just use a sieve if you wanted. Perfect. And now I'm going to add in the Crisco, and I'm just going to do a little bit here and there, about half of it, and then I'm going to work it in with, if you have, you can use your knives. You could also just put some gloves on and you could work it through with your fingers, but you want to make sure that this is completely it's going to look like cornmeal when you're done. So I just want to keep mixing this in. And it'll take a few minutes to get it all mixed in, but see how it's kind of breaking up, and I have to use my little thing to get that out of there. And the more it gets mixed with the powder, the more it will break up. And a pastry mixer will also work good for this, a pastry cutter. But I'm just going to keep using my cool thing here. Break this up in there. And I'll keep working this around until it's like cornmeal. There we go. And once this is good, then I'll add in the rest. Kind of force it through there. There we go. So this is also good. There's a lot of recipes actually in the old Make a Mix cookery book. You can use this to make a cream of chicken soup, a corn chowder, New England clam chowder. This is a great way to start that. There's also a recipe for potatoes au gratin. So you can use this. This basically your start. It's just good also just to use it to get some gravy started as well. But I like to have it on hand for that. Okay, so I'm going to keep mixing this up. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the butter flavored Crisco and mix it in here, and then I'll come back and show you once this is all finished and ready to put in the jar. So I'm still working this. I meant to tell you, if you use butter, you're going to have to store this in the fridge. I think I told you that. But you also want to use this up in about 3 months. But I do like using the butter flavored Crisco because it's perfect. That way I can keep it on the shelf and I don't have to take up refrigerator space for it because Crisco is shelf stable. So I'm going to keep working this around. See, it's getting very much like cornmeal, but I still have those clumps to work through, so I will keep doing that. I really think my recipe for tomorrow is going to be a macaroni and cheese for my pantry cooking for 2 Tuesday. I think I'd like to make a nice macaroni and cheese with all different kinds of cheeses. I like it that way. So, all right, I want to get this really evenly mixed. So I'll be back as soon as it's perfect. Okay, I've got that all mixed up, and you can see how it looks just like cornmeal. And that makes me think, after I'm done with this, I might as well make some cornmeal mix so that I can have that handy. So I'm just going to pour this in here. It might make a little bit more than a quart. Maybe not. If it does, I'll just fill a small jar and I'll use that one first. It's not enough to really have to worry about putting it in a bag and freezing it. So, yeah, it's going to make a little bit more than a quart. Let me go get my little pint jar and put that in there. Okay, I'm going to go get a pint jar. I'll be right back. Okay, I am able to get it in here. I just put it on the paper, on the towel here, and kind of tap it down. And it's all going to fit. Perfect. Okay, so there you have it. There's my white sauce mix. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a top on it. I'm going to vacuum seal it, and then I'm going to write on there white sauce mix. And I'm going to write book underneath. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I know I need to go look in the book for the recipes for it. Because sometimes I'll write them on a card, which I'm going to do on my cornmeal mix. Anyway, so there is your white sauce mix. And I'll be back to make cornmeal. Okay, I was going to do cornbread mix. You know, cornmeal mix. But I decided not to because I don't have enough cornmeal. So, I have decided that I've got my white sauce mix. And now I'm going to do chicken gravy mix. This is really good too. So, what I have for that, and that is also in the publication, the PDF that I have linked so that you can get that. And what I did too is I'll show you how I'm labeling it, just because I don't want to have these in my cabinet and then have to either, number one, try to remember how to use them, or, you know, forget what's in the jar. So I want to make sure it's labeled, but then I want to make it easy so that I know what to do with it when I grab it. So I will show you how I'm going to label my chicken gravy mix. But for now, it's 1 1/3 cups of the non-fat dried milk, 3/4 cups of flour, which I have right there, and then 1/4 cup of instant bouillon and chicken. And then what I did was, a long time ago, I got a big bulk of bouillon and I put it in these little Mylar bags and vacuum sealed it. So that kept it good. And then I will have 1/4 teaspoon of dried sage leaves, of dried sage leaves, and then 1/8 teaspoon of ground sage, and 1/4 teaspoon of dried thyme leaves, and 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. And I'll put all those in there, and then I'm going to use my old trusty mixer whisk, and I'm going to mix all that around. And then I'm going to add, it calls for 1/2 cup of butter, but you know, when I'm making these mixes this time, I am substituting butter flavored Crisco for butter, because I want it to be shelf stable and not have to be stored in the refrigerator. If I had butter, it would have to go in the fridge, but this will be shelf stable for longer because Crisco can do that. Okay, now you can't use this like as a spread, like real butter, but you can use it when you're baking and cooking instead of butter, so that's kind of handy. And so now I'm going to mix this in, and again, I'm going to do it like it's breadcrumbs. Now, in order to use this, it's pretty simple. You're going to pour a cup of cold water in a small saucepan, and then you only have to stir in 1/2 cup of this gravy mix into the water, and then you whisk it, and you cook, stirring constantly over medium heat until the gravy is smooth and thickened, and you've basically got your chicken gravy. So that's kind of cool. And I could have used that tonight, because for dinner tonight I opened a jar of home canned chicken, and I used the broth, and I made a roux, and I did added some peas, and basically I had a chicken and gravy with peas on mashed potatoes with cranberries. So that's what we had for dinner, but I could have made that with this, made more gravy if I'd have used something like this with it. But I just kind of like the idea of being able to grab these things and make them. Okay, get that chunk out of there. There we go. Break these up. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and keep mixing this until it's like cornmeal, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to jar it up. Okay, I've got it all mixed up so it's nice and crumbly, and now I'm going to put it in this quart jar. And I labeled my white sauce just with a piece of tape with white sauce because I'm always going to have this, and so I'm going to go to my Cricut and I'm going to make cute labels that are going to go on all of these, so they're going to be perfect. So now I put my chicken gravy mix. And this is nice because, you know, if you just got a quick start to a meal, you can cut time down, and also it helps you meal plan. You pull one of these out and think, what can I make with that? Oh, I can make macaroni and cheese. Oh, and then I could have, you know, ham slices or something with it. So there's that. And now I'm going to get a lid. Hang tight. And there we go. I'm going to put a lid on it. I'm going to vacuum seal it. And I keep the ring on it just in case it falls over in the cabinet or something doesn't all spill. And then what I did was I actually took this, photocopied it, and there's the instructions. So I have this little label, and I'm going to tape it on there, and it's got the little where you, in order to over to use, and you flip it up, and there's the instructions. So that's the way I'm going to store that. Could put a rubber band around it like that too. Either way, now I'm going to go vacuum seal this, and this is going to be my chicken gravy mix. So I hope you guys give these a try. White sauce and chicken gravy, can't go wrong with, you know, doing it. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.